Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to be looking at three waves of invasions that completely, and I mean completely, reshaped the Indian subcontinent. It's a fascinating story of how a simple mission for contact spiraled into a ruthless quest for plunder, and then a full-blown campaign for total conquest.
So, how did this all happen? How did these different waves build on each other to create a massive new empire? Well, to get to the bottom of that, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. And the interesting thing about this first wave, it wasn't about conquest at all. It was just about making contact.
So, let's set the scene. We're talking about the 7th and 8th centuries. Now this first wave, the Arab arrival in Sindh, this wasn't some massive army showing up with dreams of conquering all of India. Not at all. It was more like a ripple effect from the sudden, explosive rise of a brand new global power.
And when you look at the timeline, the sheer speed of it all is just staggering. I mean, think about it. In just about a century after the Prophet Muhammad's death, Islam had spread all the way from the Arabian Peninsula to the very edges of India. That is incredibly fast.
So in 712 AD, you have this pivotal moment. The governor of Iraq sends a general, Muhammad bin Qasim, who conquers Sindh and Multan. Now, let's be clear, this wasn't a full-scale invasion of the entire subcontinent, but what it did do was open a really crucial door. For the first time, there was this permanent line of contact between the Arab world and India.
And, with a new presence comes new ways of doing things. The Arabs set up their own administrative systems. They divided up the territories they conquered, places like Sindh and Multan, into districts, and they brought in new policies, one of which was the jizya tax, which was a specific tax for non-Muslims living in these lands.
Okay, so after that initial contact, things were actually pretty quiet for a while, like almost 300 years. But then a second wave came crashing in, and this one, it had a totally different and way more destructive motivation. We're talking about plunder.
17. Just let that number sink in. 17 times. That's how many times Mahmud of Ghazni, a Turkish ruler from what's now Afghanistan, attacked India. We're talking about nearly 3 decades of just relentless raids. And he wasn't there to set up a government or administrate anything. No, this was about one thing and one thing only.
Right. Pure wealth. See, unlike the Arabs who came first, Ghazni had zero intention of sticking around to rule. His goal was brutally simple: smash his way into India's famously rich kingdoms, grab as much wealth as he could, and then haul it all back home to his capital in Ghazni.
And man, were his campaigns effective. I mean, devastatingly so. He just rolled over many of North India's most powerful dynasties. We're talking about the Hindu Shahis, the Chandelas, the rulers of major centers like Mathura and Kannauj. He just left this trail of defeated kingdoms behind him. But the most famous of all his 17 raids, that has to be the one on the incredibly wealthy Somnath Temple in 1025. It became the stuff of legend. This raid really cemented his reputation as a plunderer, and it left northern India completely destabilized. The region was definitely weakened, for sure, but, and this is key, it still wasn't conquered.
And all that chaos, all that instability, well, it created the perfect opening for the third and final wave. And the guy leading this one, Muhammad of Ghori, his ambition went way beyond just grabbing some gold. He wanted an empire.
And it all came down to 2 critical battles. The battles of Touraine fought just 1 year apart. Think about it, the entire fate of northern India hanging in the balance. In the first battle in 1191, Muhammad of Ghori gets absolutely crushed by the Rajput king Prithviraj Chauhan. But here's the thing, Ghori doesn't give up. He retreats, he regroups, and he comes back a year later, bigger and stronger. And the reversal of fortune? It was just stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this right here, this is the turning point. Ghori's victory in that second battle wasn't just another smash-and-grab raid. No way. It completely shattered Rajput power in the region. This was the definitive start of a permanent conquest. This was the moment that laid the foundation for what would eventually become the Delhi Sultanate.
See, and here's what made Ghori different. Unlike the guys before him, he immediately started building the structures of a real, lasting empire. He didn't just leave. He appointed that trusted commander Qutb-ud-Din Aibak to actually govern the territories. He made Delhi the capital, and he kept on fighting, subjugating other rival rulers. This was nation-building, but done through conquest.
So, okay, let's take a step back and put this all together.
we've got these three waves: contact, plunder, and conquest. How do they actually stack up against each other?
When you lay it out like this, the evolution is just crystal clear, right? Wave 1, with Muhammad bin Qasim. That was all about making contact, a bit of expansion. Then Wave 2, Muhammad of Ghazni. That was purely about plunder, but in doing so, he kind of conveniently weakened all the local powers. And that, right there, paved the perfect road for Wave 3, Muhammad of Ghori, and his systematic conquest, building an empire right on top of the chaos that Ghazni had left behind.
And that's exactly why Muhammad of Ghori is considered the real founder of the Turkish Empire in India. You see, one guy opened the door, another guy weakened all the defenses, but it was Ghori's laser focus on actual conquest that truly laid the foundation for centuries of Turkish and later Muslim rule in India.
So, we see the chain reaction. Contact led to plunder, and plunder paved the way for conquest. Ghori's ambition, built on the chaos before him, laid the groundwork for centuries of empire and incredible cultural fusion. And it leaves you with this big question. What does it tell us when a history that shapes millions of people is forged in conquest? It's a question whose echoes you can still hear across the subcontinent today.